Good evening. This is part two of the 21 Pilots series. Um, yeah, and this is the Black Bunny podcast. All right, so continuing off where we left on part one, this is part two. Let's start with their name. So if you notice, the two O's in 21 Pilots have the line through it. Well, because that's the cut. That's pi. That's pi. PHI. Also protected health information, the golden ratio, and the 23rd letter of the Greek alphabet with the circle and the line cut through the center of the cut. Well, first of all, I wanted to see how that's pronounced because I want to get it done once and for all. So let's see here. So we go to PHI.
Phi.
All right, so it is phi. So phi, phi, fo, fum. Oh, God. Okay, so 20 in etymology. Also compare the word score. Okay, we go to score in etymology and it says 20. It says mark, notch, incision, a rift in rock. My God. Right. Well, we all know, if you've been paying attention, that the rock is the placenta. Yeah, it's the philosopher's stone. Yeah, it's the rock in which Peter built his church. And looks like there's going to be a mark of the beast, a notch, incision as well. It says score means to cut. So 20 can mean score, and score is to cut. And furthermore, a score is counting large numbers of a passing flock of sheep. Oh my God. So 20 is synonymous with counting large numbers of a flock of sheep. Then likely was, quote, straight mark like a scratch, line drawn by a sharp instrument. Right. I know that one, definition 3B in Merriam-Webster's, is constituting a unified entity of two or more components. Bet you didn't see that one coming. And so, well, then what is the placenta? Well, it says here it's a vascular organ in mammals that unites the fetus to the maternal uterus. Does that sound like two components? It unites the fetus, component one, and the maternal uterus, component two. So it looks like the placenta can be and is considered one thing. Exactly. Before we go into pilots, we have to review something I went over a couple episodes ago, which was Chi-Rho. That's C-H-I, Chi, and space R-H-O, which quite literally is Christ Jesus. It's a Christogram, right? It's one of the earliest forms of Christogram. Chi being the 22nd letter of the Greek alphabet, and the symbol is an X. X marks the spot, and Rho is the 17th letter of the Greek alphabet, and with the symbol of a P. So XP is Christ Jesus. Yes, and that's what this symbol is. I bring this up because of the P in pilots. So we have P, which could represent Jesus, as well as Pi is a Greek letter corresponding to the Roman P, which means Rho or Jesus. Well, there we go. And then it says C Pi, P-I-E. Now, this gets very interesting because pie, P-I-E, is a baked dish. Well, I am sure that nobody knows that placenta in etymology is uterine cake. A cake, a flat cake. That sounds like it's related to a bakery, right? So pie, P-I-E, noun three version of pie, and it says, quote, a mass of type jumbled together. Well, would you look at that? Quite literally what the placenta is. Now, lots is like a lot, object used to determine someone's share. It's a share of land. There we go. Ding, ding, ding. We have a fucking winner here. So pi is the placenta, and that's the object used to determine someone's share. So placenta, pi, share of land, lot. There we have it, guys. So all together now, 20. It's a mark or a cut in a rock. That's 20. One is the constituting two or more elements, which is the fetus and the uterus. And then we have pilots, once again, which is the placenta and the share. So all those words telling the same fucking story. So 21 pilots. It's all about the cut. And we're going to go to jumpsuit. Let's do jumpsuit first.
We've been here the whole time. You were asleep. Time to wake up.
All right. Right off the bat, they're starting at the birth. The birth. That first scene was the Jesus part that he is playing on top of the vehicle, the vessel, the car, the maternal, the placenta. So he's standing with the burnt car, the vessel, and that together is the fetal maternal organ, and you've been asleep. Absolutely. That's why he's in black, the person of color. Okay, so this looks like that's fucking crazy. He's still inside the womb. He's not on the land, so to speak. He's not the fallen man yet. He's still coming out of the vagina. That looks like the triangle, these waters. It starts going in. It looks like the V. Yes, 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 yes. He's still inside the womb. He's coming out. Look at it, look at it, look at it. And then when he looks over here, he look at those two there. That is the portal right there. That's the vagina. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, he says, cover me. What happens when Adam and Eve take a bite of the apple from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? They suddenly realize they're naked. So jumpsuit, cover me. Okay, so the jumpsuit represents the vestment, the clothing of the fallen. Cover me. So you got rivers. This is the flood. This is the flood, the gates. Also note that Little Red Riding Hood here is going upstream, indicating the left-hand path. People that are running this operation, they go up against the current back to the spring. That's the left-hand path. And then, of course, the fallen man there is going downstream.
Jumpsuit, jumpsuit, cover me. I crumble underneath the weight. Pressures of a new place roll my way. Jumpsuit, jumpsuit, cover me. Jumpsuit, jumpsuit, cover me.
I mean, clearly, what I'm saying is accurate because did you see his arms? As if he was on the cross. Yeah, dead right there with the fetal maternal organ, Mary Jesus, he's standing on the vessel, makes the Jesus cross illusion. That represents the crossing through the worlds, the Old Testament to the New Testament, Old World into the New World. That's the cross, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the T, the cross. Okay. As well, Jesus hangs on the cross for the debt. So that part of the placenta that he represents, he's hanging on the cross as the surety in their system. That's so bizarre. Right after the Jesus position, there's a split second fade in of a church. Like you can see like it's Nico and the Niners. It's the nine men in hoods, it's silhouettes. But that's crazy. It just happens for a second.
Felt it in my youth, feel it when I'm old. Jumpsuit, jumpsuit. Dusting off my.
Now, as far as the man on the land, he comes out of the vagina, and then when this man on the pale white horse, with death, maybe some priest, Jesuit, Vatican fucking groupie, Illuminati. Oh, no, it's just, he's from the Brotherhood of the Long Duck Schlongs. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so he walks up to him and he marks his neck and leaves his four fingers on each side of the neck, and he leaves the black mark, the kiss of death. But really, what this is decapitation. And if you don't believe me, decapitate, definition, to cut off the head of, which is also beheading. Head definition 2A, the seat of the intellect, the mind. And to decapitate is to cut off the mind. That is why the image on the back of the dollar bill has the top of the pyramid, the all-seeing eye, the capital, the mind, separate from the base of the pyramid, the labor in the body. That's the decapitation. As well, the Saturnian principles of four in the cube, in the black cube of death in the physical realm. So this is what happens to the fallen man at the cut. The most crazy part about this idea, and if you can see this and paint this picture in your head, you can really see the tragedy that has occurred. Because think about it. Right out of the gate, right out of the womb, right as you enter into this world, the new world, the land, there they are, decapitating everyone. This part in general, it always gets me. I can cry in a second just by playing the bridge on this song. And I just figured out the first part of the lyrics here, which is, he says, "I'll be right there, but you'll have to grab my throat and lift me in the air if you need anyone." Most of the songs are saying at one point they want to reference the sky or the father, which is origin, basically putting your mind back with your body so you're whole. Well, you'll have to grab me by the throat and lift me in the air. That's his way of saying, bring my body and my head up to the sky, which is heaven, origin, father. Yeah. And then when he says, if you need anyone, well, I kind of think that he's repeating it over and over, because if you really listen to it and you blend your ears a little bit, it kind of sounds like if unity won. Yeah. Or if unity won.
I'll be right there, but you'll have to grab my throat and lift me in the air if you need anyone. I'll stop my plans, but you'll have to tie me down and then break both my hands if you need anyone. I'll be right there,
And guys, what the hell is this? For a split second, it shows an eagle. And what do we know about the eagle? The beak of a bird and the point. At the cut, the bird comes into the picture and grabs its piece. Yeah, that's why in the Great Seal, the United States, the beak of that bird is holding one of the ribbons or the cords. They're cut, right? Yeah, this is the fascist communist symbol where right out of the gate, the bird swoops down and grabs with its beak his cut for the public pool. I mean, seriously, guys, why the fuck would they just flash a bird there? This is exactly their point. They're spelling it out for us. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. And I forgot to mention that the color yellow is for quarantine. If you forget your origin and you're a victim of this system, then you're in a permanent state of quarantine. And then, of course, this is the death, so to speak, of the man on the land. He becomes the zombie walking dead, claiming the decedent, which is the character on the car or in the placenta. And that's why he grabs the jacket or the vestment, puts it on. He's now walking with that vestment on, and that's what that represents. Basically, you claim the birthday, the birth certificate. If you offer your pledge, your godly origin, and forget about it, then that character in the placenta is in control. And they own that, and that's been the problem. And finally, this is where Psalms 23 kicks in. This is what it's speaking of. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Okay, so now let's talk about the symbols that they use on the Trench album. And we may have seen them on other albums as well, but here we are. The first one resembles a sun. To me, this is Genesis. This is fertilization, representing the father and the son, aka zygote and conceptus. This is the beginning of life, the atom. Absolutely. The next symbol, which looks like a sort of like a pitchfork and perpendicular angles, this is implantation. Yes. The intersection of the conceptus zygote landing into the wall of the mother's uterus, and that's why the perpendicular L-shaped angles. Female foundation, L. Yes. Implantation, aka conception. The next one, the formation of the accretion. The mother's part of the placenta. The fetal and the maternal are now the two pillars on the left that you see inside there. It looks like kind of like an 11. And then the dash represents the umbilical cord. And then once out of the womb, the same material, the fetal and the maternal placenta, and then it's skewed to the right, I think indicating the right-hand path. So yeah. In the womb, the two biologies making the placenta, hyphen, umbilical, and then the two biologies outside of the womb going to the right-hand path. The next one, well, there's the bird again. Well, golly, that is the eagle right there, swooping down. Looks like it's about to grab its prey. Of course, unless you were praying for Mary. Well, that's exactly what's happening here. Yeah, the maternal part of the placenta, the accretion, the third thing created, is what that bird is going to grab. Yeah. The bird's capturing Mary, unfortunately, attached to Mary is Jesus. Yeah. And Mary, aka Mother, aka Matrix. Right. So if within that Mary Mother Matrix material is Jesus, that means that you are stuck in the matrix when this bird grabs it. It's also grabbing a few other things. Yeah, that bundle of joy is going to be that baby's capital, yeah, their mind, their presence. That will be no longer present. So that's why they can swoop in and take this property. And you're not present. And your ability to self-govern is taken, and your mind is frozen. You become their frozen asset. And once again, if the material is taken all in one chunk, that means you're stuck in the matrix. All right, that mountain, that is the maternal accretion. It's Venus. Yeah, this is Venus. And Mary, yep, the maternal part of the placenta. I wonder if that's where they get the name Capitol Hill from. Right. So then the final symbol is this rectangle, square cube, yeah, with RPE, it seems to me. Yeah, that line going through the center certainly finishes the letters, and I think it looks like RPE. Which I looked up, and there is something very fitting here because this is the fallen man. The bird just took its piece, and now this piece is for the fallen. RPE represents rate of perceived exertion. Yeah. So this is basically the rating of perceived exertion as measured by the Borg rating of perceived exertion scale is a quantitative measure of perceived exertion during physical activity. Well, there you go. Because what did they create here? The eagle took the capital, and this is the labor, the perceived exertion of physical activity.